And here we are for turntable update number 8. Now today I'm going to add hi-fi mains leads to the turntable and the NAD integrated amplifier, which is currently acting purely as a phono preamplifier. Now the cords I'm going to use in question are these Russ Andrews PowerKord 100, their new entry-level model that actually uses the Kimber cable with the actual Kimber weave. Now currently the turntable and the integrated amplifier are running from this Tacima 6-way mains conditioning strip, and they're plugged in using bog standard 10 amp IEC leads. You see here just the ones that were sort of lying about have been used with it. Now what I'm going to do is simply replace them with high quality hi-fi mains leads. Literally just a straight swap, plug it in and then plug this into the back of the equipment. Now you may be wondering why you would want to change the bog standard free leads that you get with a hi-fi lead. Now what's the point? I mean, this looks prettier, big thick chunky cable, very nice watt gate IC plug there, and a decent quality plug here. But why spend a considerable amount of money, and these are expensive. I mean, this 2-meter lead actually costs over £200. Why replace this with this? And the answer is quite simple. It improves the sound quality of your equipment, and it improves the sound quality of your equipment enormously. It is something you have to hear yourself in your own system, in your own home, with your own music, to truly understand what I'm saying. Now, the very first mains lead that I bought, I was completely and utterly sceptical about it. Now, so it was a Russ Andrews lead. It's about 10 years ago, and there was a special offer on, well, they gave me a special offer as I was a new customer. I could buy one lead at half price, one mains lead. And they also offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like the product, you can send it back and get your money back, no quibble. So I just thought, well, what the hell? I'll order it, I'll try it on my hi-fi, and I'll send it back. Because while I'm sure it makes a difference, there's no way that they're worth the huge cost, and just can't justify it. I'm not sufficiently open-minded enough to realise that everything makes a difference in my hi-fi system, but how a mains lead can make much difference just didn't really make much sense. Now I bought the lead. It wasn't this lead, it was one of the earlier signature model leads, and plugged it into my CD player. At that time I used no mains filtration whatsoever. It was just a little plastic strip bar, so like this one, with everything plugged in into the mains. And I plugged the new Specialist mains lead into my CD player, and it was one of those jaw on the floor moments. The difference in sound quality was nothing short of astonishing. It was the biggest upgrade in sound I've ever achieved in my system from buying an accessory product. The biggest by a long way. It was literally like I had replaced all of my hi-fi components, the CD player, the amp and the speakers, all replaced. That's how big a difference it made to the sound quality. Absolutely huge. Now it's probably because I wasn't using any mains filtration whatsoever, and you really do need to use mains filtration on your system. As you start adding more and more, the individual leads make less and less impact. Now the reason for buying these is simply that when my turntable is finally moved to a wall shelf, which I haven't bought yet, it'll actually be on the same side of the room as the hi-fi system, and it can actually be plugged into the mains conditioning unit that the hi-fi system uses, but still going to be some distance from it, so I'm going to need 2-meter mains leads. These new PowerKord 100s are 2 meters. I've got plenty of cables that are 1 meter in length, but no 2-meter cables, so I bought two 2-meter cables so that I can plug in my turntable and my phono stage, which, as I said, currently is an integrated amplifier. But while I haven't actually got the wall shelf yet, I decided to buy these in the summer when I saw them on special offer. And as I said, they've been sitting in the attic since. I haven't actually used them, but I thought should really start using them. It's silly just leaving them them up their waist in them. And I got them down and decided to plug them in. And here we have the equipment turned around. Now I'm going to plug the mains leads in. I say the excitement never ends on this YouTube channel. Here we go. Now, first thing you'll notice with these new Wattgate connectors, which, as we said, look very good, but they're also very well designed. They have exceptionally tight grip on the IEC, which gives very good contact. And now you've got the big cables that are plugged in. Now they will be plugged into the Tacima mains conditioning strip that I was using before. This again has its mains filtration here. So mains conditioning is very, very important for your equipment. It protects your equipment as well as making it sound better. Right, now the cable that is actually in this mains cable that we've got here is actually Kimber cable. It's very, very similar to these Kimber Timbre interconnects that I've got here, in that it has a plaited weave inside, only much thicker. I've got a piece of cable here actually that's separate, and you can see you've got the live and the neutral wire there, multiple wires all plaited together. And if you can look at the end, you can actually see the earth wire is in the centre, and I say this is actually what is inside these cables. This is actually speaker wire, or very, very similar to speaker wire, which is one of the reasons these cables are so expensive. You're literally using speaker wire for mains leads. Now that they're plugged in and I've used them for a little while, you know, what benefits have they actually brought? Now, and the answer is quite substantial benefit. The sound is cleaner, much lower noise floor. It's got rid of some of the slight hum that was coming from the turntable. The sound is much bigger, much bolder, much smoother. And in fact, if I was going to give a little sound bite as to what these cables actually do with regard to the sound, I would actually refer to them as energy injectors, because that's what it sounds like. The music has more energy in the sound. It's kind of like you've upgraded the power supply to your equipment. That's if you do ever upgrade the power supply to your equipment, it gives the same kind of benefit. You're literally getting more energy into the sound. You literally are getting more electricity into the equipment. And as I say, it just makes the whole thing sound much more lifelike, much more lively, much more enjoyable. They might look like some silly overpriced hi-fi jewellery, but the difference they make to the sound is quite profound. And as I say, it's something you need to hear on your own system, in your own house, with your own music, before you'll truly appreciate how useful these things can be. Now, they are expensive, but as I say, you can easily pick them up second hand on eBay. The basic, say, Russ Andrews model, which is no longer made, is called a Yello cable, and is very, very similar to the model that I'm using, except it's a slightly cheaper, more basic cable. So it's no longer made, but you can pick them up on eBay for about £30, and you'll have maybe 80–90% of the performance that these much more expensive cables have. So if I learnt anything from this video, it's simply that mains leads do make a big difference to the sound quality. Now, in my experience, they work even better with digital equipment than they do with analog. Digital equipment, of course, being very prone to interference. But even here, with purely analog equipment and relatively cheap analog equipment, these mains leads make a big difference to the sound quality. And it's important to get across that the biggest difference they make is that they make the sound more musical. Yeah, more emotional, more fun to listen to. It's not about hi-fi techie this and techie that and what have you. It just makes the whole thing more musical. And as I say, hi-fi mains leads and mains conditioning are highly recommended. And as I say, certainly some mains conditioning to protect your equipment is absolutely vital. But as I say, do not overlook the mains leads. They are an important part of your hi-fi system. Now, my main system uses entirely Russ Andrews mains leads, all of which use the Kimber cable, and it boosts the performance of my main system enormously. It wouldn't sound half as good if I removed the mains conditioning and the mains leads from my hi-fi. Really is that simple. I say, give them a go. Find a company like Russ Andrews, which will give a trial of their cables. If you don't like them, you can send them back and get your money back. Just give them a go, see what you think. Or, as I said before, you can pick them up on eBay quite cheaply. And again, if you don't like them, you can, of course, always resell them on eBay. So, that's the end of this video. I say thanks for watching.